Welcome to the Random Hour. I'm Kyle, and as usual, I'm joined by Devin of More Sports. And today, we're sitting down with JB Excite. I said that right?
Exte, short for excited.
Exte? Okay. And the floor is yours if you would like to introduce yourself and let the people at home know a little bit about you.
I'm JB Exte. I am an author who's written a novel called Being Human and Decaying, and I'm the founder of Deathless Publishing. I've written a couple other things, The Cask of Josh, which is a parody of The Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe, except with Josh wine, and then a couple essays.
Okay. And we are Nerd and Sundries podcast. So, what are some things that you nerd out about?
Video games are probably up there, and then old literature. I am a big reader, and I have read almost nothing from the 21st century. I've read a
Okay.
couple things, but most of it is from at the latest the 90s, if not earlier. And then video games, I'm all over the place. A lot of single-player RPGs, some classics like Minecraft and Pokemon in there too, for sure.
Okay. Have
Oh yeah,
you This is gonna be weird. Have you watched the Minecraft movie yet? I know Devin, you haven't.
I
I
haven't
have
yet.
not, but I've seen enough of the chicken jockey scene to last a lifetime, it feels like.
Oh yeah, we went to go see it with my niece and nephew, and it was. I did not. I went into this not expecting it to be that good, and it was really good. Better
I
than
knew
I
it.
expected.
From the get go, I saw people trashing it. Like the moment they
Mhm.
revealed it, and like you don't. It looks weird. It's a Minecraft movie. It would be so weird if it looked normal. And
Mhm.
then I saw a lot of people that just wanted it to basically look like the game. I was like, you know
Yeah.
how bad that would look for 2 hours?
Oh yeah, I was expecting it to be like completely animated, and apparently it was supposed to be animated, and then it got held up in production, and then that's why part of it's live action and whatnot. But the sets are actually built, and I was surprised on how well they were. Like I'll admit, I was wrong. I'm a big boy. I can admit that.
Now I heard a rumor that there is a subplot
Hmm.
where a villager goes into the real world, and I'm forgetting who the actress is, but it was a very famous actress,
Hmm.
falls in love with the villager. Is this true?
Yep. Yes.
Oh,
Man,
that is
that's
true.
It,
awesome. That's so
it
cool.
yeah. So it pays off at the one of the end credits. There's two end credits, one with Alex and then one with Jennifer Coolidge, and the villager learns to talk, and it's in
Oh,
Matthew Barry's voice. And it's very funny because it's at the end of the movie, and then all of a sudden, the way she delivers her lines with her ex husband, I'm gonna get this name wrong, Dave Flamentes. It's just it's comedy. It's really good. I thought it was funny. I thought the B plot with the villager was actually pretty good, even with like it'd be like random, but it was just so well comedy. It was kind of like an SNL skit that's hidden just right. But
it has that sort of vibe. It feels very skit
Mhm.
comedy. That you plot.
Oh yeah.
I love that skit comedy. That's one that like I want to capture in other forms so badly. That's
Mhm.
I watched a documentary on the Dana Carvey show. Is there any chance either of you have heard about that?
I have not.
Dana Carvey is the other guy in Wayne's World.
Mm.
He had this moment where he was really big on SNL. He was like one of the biggest comedians out there. And then he left SNL right in the height of his fame. And one of the networks offered him a primetime skit show, which is like an unheard of thing. Skit shows are always late night, so you could be a little bit like looser with it. It's not families watching it. But he decided that he was going to, instead of taking his characters from SNL, make the wildest, grossest comedy of all time right at 6:30, right when all the families are watching. And the crazy part about it is you look at the cast who's working on it, and it's like Steve Carell, one of the big late night guys who I'm blanking on right now, maybe Jon Stewart. And first skit out of the gate, Bill Clinton, except he got a breast implant and he's breastfeeding a baby. And then halfway through the skit, he stands up and he has the bottom half of him is a bird. It's a historic drop off because you can see when people turn the channel, you can see immediate 95% of their people dropped off. That's how you know it's good comedy. They're also very famous for they had skinheads in Vermont, which were really racist guys that were just living in Vermont in like a cabin, a nice little wood cabin, and old clown, just an old lady as a clown who could barely move.
Hey, that sounds like a
It's
normal day at the
exactly what
Laughing
comedy
Skull.
should be.
Okay. Are you glitching again?
No, I'm not glitching again.
A
Am
lot
I
of bit.
glitching again? Can you at least hear me?
Kind of.
Sounds like a robot, but I can't understand you.
Yeah.
Well, this is just gonna be my L
But
today.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the big L today. Dude, that show, it took me a minute. I remember seeing that vividly, but Dana Carvey and I don't know, my brain's not fully rebooted, but I do remember his comedy show and like he's got an episode on the dark side of comedy, if I remember correctly. It talks about all that when he like crashed a spiral and he peed on a girl in public. I mean, it's just a time.
It's very Tom Green reminiscent, but except for instead of being on, MTV where you would expect to see something like Tom Green, it was
Mm.
on a major network in prime time.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I'm looking it up. I can't find it though.
it's not on the internet. It's banned from the internet. You don't want to watch Bill Clinton
Okay, that's
breastfeed a
probably why I
baby
can't
being
find it
half
then.
chicken, huh?
I mean, sounds like a fun Tuesday night.
I
Well, I
think
mean, whatever you
if I
do on Tuesday
remember
night,
correctly, I think they just kept giving him breasts, so he had like just all over his body.
Okay.
you must have found it.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
making that
remember.
face.
Yeah,
You found it?
I did. I don't remember this at all.
How do you not?
They
I remember
really
it
try to
vividly,
make
and I was,
people think.
dude, I don't want to look it up. Don't, don't, don't pop it into my screen.
Okay, I will do that later then.
Okay.
Here you go. What are some books that you're into?
My favorite author is Haruki Murakami, the Japanese author who I think he started probably 80s. He still writes, but the ones I love from him are mostly in the 90s. Kafka on the Shore and The Wind Up Bird Chronicle are two of just my favorite novels. Very surreal, which is something that I want to get more into with my writing.
Mm-hmm.
It's surreal in a way that I have never seen before, and I tried to find other people who write like him. And every search, no matter what I tried, came up as either a list of other Haruki Murakami books. Like if I was like, show me books like Kafka on the Shore, they were just like, do you want these other ones written by him? Or if I looked up ones that are like authors like Haruki Murakami, just other Japanese authors who write nothing like him.
Okay.
I've gone so deep on it. It seems like no one writes like him. It's very realistic while the plot is very out there and surreal.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly on the magical, sci-fi, fantasy, like taking all of those together and blending them in, but then laying them out in a really realistic way that's more character-driven than plot-driven, which is how most of that sci-fi and fantasy is written about, is very plot-driven as opposed to character-driven. Mostly, even though you're living in this magical, surreal world, most of the writing is going on in people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really interesting way of going.
How has that taste affected your liking video games?
I definitely like a lot of the abstract side of things, but I would say above all else with video games, it's kind of the opposite. I love the character driven in my writing, but the world building is what I care about with a video game. Though I'm kind of eating my words lately because I've been playing Elden Ring, and it's so difficult that even though it's the most beautiful world, that's kind of killing me. But having like a world to explore when you're in control of it is so fascinating, and I loved Breath of the Wild was one of the best for it. Obviously, it's dated at this point where the world kind of doesn't hold up super great, but at the time, Skyrim was left a huge impression on me. That was unlike anything that I had really experienced before, because I was never super deep into that sort of fantasy world at the time when I played it when I was really young, probably like 11.
Okay. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Smash Bros right now because I'm just like, yeah, I've been playing a lot of Nintendo, and then I've been playing Kirby, Sonic, and I was like, I haven't played Smash in so long, and so now I'm like absolutely off because I haven't played in like a decade.
I always found I was right in that annoying middle ground where I was better than real life friends
Mhm.
and worse, much worse than people on the internet.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just like I had no one to have like a fair competition with. I was always like purposefully not hitting people in real life to make it interesting, and then
I
just
know.
getting
I remember
wolfed.
in college we would have like full game nights where we were playing Smash, and I was really good. I was one of our best players. Devin was awful. And I would be so good. I would have no clue what I'm doing because I'm just like, yeah, I'm really good at fighting games. I don't know what I'm doing though, but I'm really good.
Just because I would use Captain
I remember the
Falcon.
first time.
Yep.
Oh, I hate using Captain. I get too greedy and I would hit that Falcon punch, and then I just get punched out of it every time. But I remember the first time I played on a Nintendo Switch in total was
Mm.
Super Smash Bros. I went over to my friend's house. He got it right away, and this was the first time I played Super Smash Bros. In years and years and years because I didn't have a Wii U, so I missed that one. I was awful at it that day, and what made it worse was we decided to play a drinking game where you take a shot for what placement you get. So first place takes one, second place takes two, third three, fourth four, which is too many shots for a game that takes about 2 minutes each game.
Oh,
So I decide this is a great time to try what's it called? The Inkling. No idea how to use the Inkling. It's not one you can just pick up. It's not like any other character that's like I had played with before. So I just get whooped. Fourth place, 4 shots just like that. Turns out that hits you right away when you take 4 back to back to back. So guess who lost the next round too? And then I came third. So I did pick it up. 8 shots in, I was like, maybe I'm getting somewhere. And then you're 11 shots in, and then I actually don't remember the rest of the night. And I don't really drink tequila anymore.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that'll do you.
That Smash.
My taste.
Yeah, I probably did it for
Oh,
you.
oh,
To this day, I hear
I never.
tequila shot, and I'm like, that was
Oh,
probably the drunkest I've ever been. And it's wild to have a story of like the drunkest I've ever been is just playing Super Smash Bros. With a couple dudes. I'm not out in the town. I'm just in somebody's apartment.
It kind of sounds like an innuendo too.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think there might have been one girl there. It's all good.
I
oh
can't tell if
man,
you lagged or not.
I probably did. I was laughing because I didn't expect that comment, but yeah, my main was Captain Falco for the Switch version. I also did you ever play Injustice, the original one, the first one, DC's Injustice?
I did. Injustice was fun. I'm not even that into like fighting games. It's just Super Smash Bros. And Injustice. We hit the two that I've played.
Oh yeah, those were the two main for me. I played so much time playing Injustice. Me and one of my old roommates. I would main Batman, he would main Superman, and we would go forever, just round after round after round. And it was just they would pop in. You guys still good? Yep. We'd be like on the edge of our like steel chairs in our apartment, or not apartment, our dorm room, just going at it.
I feel like I was
That's like I
always
main Green
limited
Lantern.
because I never had a main. Because my brothers and I always like switched. Like you couldn't use the same character twice.
Oh
So I
yeah,
never like had like somebody that I was.
we would make that rule eventually where we were like, okay, you've played this person, you got to move to somebody else, and so we would like purposely make it harder on us, just like these weird rules, like you can't play the same character, like so we would go through the entire roster and we would get to some like crappy character that we like hardly ever use, so we don't know their moveset. And we'd get really good with a lot of the characters. Oh yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah, my brother was Samus on Hyrule Temple back on any of the Smash Bros. And he was immediately 10 times better than any other character. So he would always get one win.
Okay. So what TikTok sound you think sums up being human then decaying?
I don't know if this is my feed or if it's just TikTok in general. I feel like I don't see viral sounds as much as I used to. It's mostly just people talking. Like the only one that I know of, and I don't want to say it because I don't love AI, but the cat's going meow 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 in a very sad way sticks out to me so much. It's so sad. It's earnestly. It's the only AI thing I've seen with soul.
So there's a cat, a little kitten, eating food and goes meow 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 meow, and it's like this sassy little meowing.
That's the yin and
I
yang with the sad meow sound.
Yeah,
That's
and
not.
it's no way, it's wee, and it pops up my feed so much, and my girlfriend's like, "Will you please? Why do you keep watching this video on loop?" And I'm like, "I'm not," and I'm like scrolling through. I can't stop this.
It's crazy how much the
Dude,
algorithms are different between every person, and then it's always just repeating the same stuff, but I can't stop.
Oh yeah,
It's such like a vice at this point. I know I'm just like flash banging myself with content that I forget the moment I turn the app off.
everybody's
Also,
algorithm is definitely different here.
all right. What's on
Because
your algorithm, Devin?
dude, it's definitely not cats meowing. I'll say that much. Because I don't even know what y'all are talking about. I'm like, I've not seen that trend.
once you get to like
My
a really sad cat meow noise, and you're like, oh, this is the one.
another one is because we're a cat. There's a sound that will attract cats. So every once in a while, it'll pop up on my feed, and all of a sudden, my cat will be like, and just come around the corner. What, you call me? Where's the kitten? Where is it at? And I'm like, oh no.
It's crazy how much better cats are than that than dogs because I never
Mm.
care.
Oh yeah. Our next question is, what inspired you to write "Being Human Then Decaying"?
So my path to writing a novel started way before novel writing. It started back in high school. I got put in a group project. Well, I didn't say I got put into because it didn't even end up happening. But there was a group project, and I don't remember what the idea was, but I know my friends and I were like, let's start a fake band and write a song just for this project. And then it fell apart because I think they're just like, we ended up having a signed project. But we kept the fake band because we were like, we could tell girls were in a band, which we never
Mm-hmm.
did because we didn't talk to girls. But we were still part of this fake band called Left Side. And I was sitting at home and I had this concept of, man, like, and I was like, what if I wrote a song and not share it with anyone? Because I just had this inclination to write. And then I wrote it and I loved it. And then I kept writing. And like, this is just like a way for me as a 15-year-old to be like writing poetry and not say I'm writing poetry was really what was happening. And then
Mm-hmm.
that evolved into writing about the time about 18, I started writing short stories, not sharing with anyone. They were not good enough. Looking back, I look at them and I'm like, thank God I didn't share these with anyone. They're not good enough until about the end, because really it was a good way of learning how to write.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I got to a point where I was like, I've written with enough different tones, enough different styles. Like, I feel like I'm ready to have a bigger project to graduate. When it came to actually deciding what to write, it was kind of guess and check. I came up with a lot of different ideas. I actually started a whole other novel and wrote like 6 chapters and then just trashed it. I wasn't feeling it.
Okay.
The one that happened for Being Human and Decaying was I read Notes from Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And that book has a really interesting setup where it has 2 sections. The first section is this really, can I say fuck?
Yes.
Really fucked up guy. He was just like the dredge of society, living in the sewers. And the first half is him just thinking and setting himself up and talking about himself. And he's like the perfectly unreliable narrator, self-thing. And then the second half is him like actually telling his story of how he got there. And I
Okay.
was like, I want to write about somebody that is just the trash of society. But we live in a different society than we used to. Like, a homeless guy who lives in the sewer is not, in my head, the trash of society anymore. That's just like an unfortunate person. So who is, right? The first answer I had in my head was incels. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really want to write about incels.
Obviously.
It doesn't seem that fun.
Yeah.
But then I kept thinking about it, and it became sort of an amalgamation of a bunch of things. But the first thing I thought of was there's these people and they've become too big of a population at this point, but the people that want to be healthy, but in like a weirdly traditional way. And it's kind
Yeah.
of become, I thought of this before RFK Jr. hit the scene, but it's very RFK Jr. like,
Mm-hmm.
and it became manifested in my book as he doesn't like drinking, he doesn't like smoking because he thinks it makes him healthy and he thinks it makes him a better person. But really, he's just being condescending and thinks he's above everybody else when he himself is actually like rotten to his core, not a good person, has bad values, uh, and then setting himself up as in this position where he's post breakup and in his
Pre-breakup.
fragility just lets himself fall apart. So it became not like Notes from Underground at all, but that was like kind of the basic.
Okay. Devin, you have the next question.
Non-alcoholic.
Devin, you're going to have to ask that again. You were muted.
Oh, you muted me? Sorry. What is your drink of choice? Alcoholic and non-alcoholic?
Alcoholic, I've got the Monster here. I'm addicted to the energy drinks. I do a lot of the sugar-free Monsters. I mostly drink beer. PBR, I think, is my go-to at this point. It used to be Red Stripe, which is pretty much just cheap beer. I've always viewed PBR as kind of my show drink. If I go to see like a punk show, it just feels natural. Like I couldn't imagine drinking something other than a PBR. And then it just kind of expanded beyond that. I'm not turning on like a $2 beer.
Yeah, no. I have a bad story about drinking like the Tallboy PBRs because like I've worked with a lot of guys that are like from the Midwest, so like PBRs are like their go-to, and they're like, yeah, drink a tall PBR. I drink like 3 of them suckers in a row, and I end up throwing them up outside in the parking lot. So anytime I see PBR, I'm like, ooh.
I guess people outside
if I'm drinking one, I'm super nervous. It's just I'm not a beer
just like the tequila where I had a period of time where I couldn't drink any PBR, but that was because on another college story, I had a friend come up for their birthday and he was unemployed as hell. So he spent the week there just drinking nonstop. And we in our dorms as 18-year-olds, obviously we just put the PBRs down. And it was disgusting. You can't do that with beer. You can't just let it sit there for a week, turns out. And I was appalled at the smell of PBR for like 6 years.
Finally, I tried PBR before, but I just wasn't for me. I'm much more like Angry Orchard, Red's Apple. I like ales and stuff.
Okay, there's this I guess you could call it a seltzer. It's like a vodka seltzer type drink, but it's very fruity. Suntory negative and then a bunch of numbers, 61 or something, and they flash freeze a peach or whatever other flavor, and they flash freeze the fruit and then crush it into the drink, and it tastes so much like whatever fruit flavor it is. It tastes like a fresh fruit. It's amazing. I just can't find it that often.
Okay. I may have to look into that.
If you want that fruit flavor, that's 100% the one.
I know Haritas, they have a new alcohol drink, and I tried it because I was like, man, I loved Haritas as a kid because you would always get them at like a gas station or something. And so I tried it. It was so much sugary than I remembered, and I was like,
they're so sugary. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore, and I ended up getting sick off of it, not because of the alcohol, but because of how sugary it was. It was just too sugary for me. My girlfriend loves them, but I was like, I can't do this anymore. I am not a young child anymore.
I heard that they're coming out with a sugar-free version of them. Obviously, that would be the non-alcoholic version.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping that was true.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I know we can segue into the next question because what is your energy drink of choice? What?
You just made me unlock a core memory. Have you tried we tried them last year, Kyle, the Monster Hard Seltzers, the alcohol monsters. Have you tried those yet?
I have not, which is crazy that I drink Monster, but never tried the hard seltzer Monster. I've mixed vodka with Monsters. I imagine it's roughly the same thing.
Kind of. It doesn't have caffeine because the whole like Four Loko thing.
That's horrible for you. Yeah. I've done it, but it's horrible for you.
But no, they're pretty good. I know with like energy drinks, I like the sugar-free stuff as well, and so I kind of liked it. I know they also have Mountain Dew flavors as well.
That one was not good.
No, I did not like those. They've got Baja Blast flavor, and every once in a while I'm thinking I'll see them and I'll be like, I could try this, but I could also get something I like.
In a Baja Blast, that one was not good. That didn't work. So I think just Mountain Dew doesn't work in alcohol.
Yeah. All right, Devin, are you ready for me to move on now?
Yeah, sorry, you just unlocked. We were sitting here talking about monsters and alcohol. I was like, dude, the Monster Energy Seltzers we tried last year.
Yeah, well, just bring it up in your AA meeting later.
Okay, I will.
Uh, what is your energy drink of choice?
So I'd say top tier is
Mm-hmm.
they came out with this blue one, which is like
Yeah.
blueberry and pineapple. That's up with the top tier, along with peach. And then right below that is the guava, which is just a Capri Sun.
Yeah.
So good. And strawberry. Those four, I'm just rotating between those four.
Okay. See, one that's really sugary. I normally don't like the sugary ones. Is the Viking berry? It's the newer one, and then blue Hawaiian. I both like the two new flavors, but my go-to is the white monster zero
Yeah,
sugar.
White Monster's really good. I worked in an agency that stocked those for free for the
Really?
employees.
Yeah.
So I was drinking like a couple a week, and I just like don't drink them much anymore because I had them for so long.
I gotcha.
But they are like really good, and it feels
Mhm.
good to walk around being like got the White Monster inside of me.
Oh yeah, the white monster was always my go-to. I used to drink them so much in college. Now I'm drinking a lot more C4 and Ghost.
The C4 tastes good, but it feels
Mhm.
crazy. I
Oh
remember
yeah.
there was one time, I don't know to this day, I don't remember what energy drink it was, but it had fat burner in it. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not a big guy. I'm very skinny. I don't have fat to burn. And on top of this, I don't think, I had like not eaten much that day. And I was out, this was in college, I was door dashing, drank most of it, and then felt insane. And I had to like
Yeah.
stop door dashing, go home, and lay down. And I was in the most pain I'd been in a long time. So now, like the main thing I look for when I try a new energy drink is there a fat burner in this? I don't know why they're just throwing that in energy.
I hold on a minute. I've never heard of them having fat burner, but I'm not awfully big either, and
When I
so
was door dashing, it was a lot of trying different drinks.
yeah.
Because that was what I was doing to get through. And people are handing me, this was before COVID, so people are like
Yeah.
actually taking them at the door and handing me cash.
Yeah.
Not spend this cash, it's in my hand.
Yeah.
20 years old and there's cash in my hand. I'm going to go to the gas station.
Dude, I DoorDash too, and I love it when they give me cash. So it's like down here, pizza, like DoorDash will pay you the $2.50 or whatever for pizza deliveries, and I'm like, I'm not delivering $2.50 for a large pizza. And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm getting cash. Yoink!
Old people are used to giving a cash tip for their pizza. It is strange.
They really
that
are. I had one that
swapped pizza deliveries to DoorDash. Now you
oh
have to
dude,
pay
trust me,
somebody that is a freelancer instead to deliver your pizza. That's awesome.
Oh, dude, there was like a whole dramatic thing going on with the pizza company in my town. The Marcos Pizza Company, they had like a driver that was like not showing up on time, so they would freelance it. So like I would just pick it up. I'm like, yoink, yoink, and they're like, dude, they're like, where's our driver? You've been here like 3.
Boys Frozen will never know what they're like, but man,
And I lost my connection.
You realize, like, man, when you pay those taxes at the end of the year, DoorDash is pretty messed up. Just lost like all the money because you have to pay for like all the stuff that the employer typically pays for with taxes. Like, this should not be a freelancer job.
Yeah. I know. I think Devin can speak again, but I know he'll be like, he would talk about how brutal it is. I know the other night he had one order and he was just going to do this one order and go home, and he spent
Oh yeah.
an hour waiting.
Oh, it
That's
was
the thing, is you
ridiculous.
never
Like
know
I could have
how long
made
it's gonna take.
$50 the other night, but because I accepted an order, like I guilt tripped it the hell out of the manager at the Logan's. It was at Logan's, and I guilt tripped it the hell out of her.
Listen, I don't think it was much guilt tripping. She made you wait an hour for one order, and then you were like, listen, I've got to get home to my wife. I've got a kid on the way. I either don't give me the order or and I'm just going to leave. And so she ended up giving you the order because of that. So I wouldn't say that was much guilt tripping. You were just like, hey, if you don't want me to take this order, I'm just going to leave and go home to my wife.
No, I guilt tripped the hell out of her. I said, lady, look, and like, dude, what was crazy was there was a truck driver.
Puppy dog guys. Now it's guilt tripping. Put them in my life. It does so much like damage to your car too. Driving around that much. At the time, I had like a car that I knew was trash and I was never going to sell, so I didn't care how many miles I put on it. It's a lot of wear and
Yeah,
tear.
it is. So like, I don't do it every night. I try to do about $20 a night. I try to do like a quota of $20 a night. So like, if I go out far, which you know how it is, the mile to gas ratio. If I go out far, that's like a $10 tip. So it's like, okay, if I get two $10 tips, I'm done for the night. Like I don't even go past $20. If I go past $20, great. It might just be like $25. You know how it is when you stack up tips sometimes. So I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, driving around for like hours on end, it's bad.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Is just like a little bit of a bump, like consistent bump that you can do, and not like some of these people are racking up like 12 straight hour shifts.
I don't know how they do it.
No other choice. That's all it is. Some people are such good workers to a fault. You got to be a little bit of a bad worker, or else you're just getting taken advantage of.
Well, I also like how you can just set your own hours because, like, if I get bored, like right now I'm in the off season, so like if we're not recording anything or if I don't have a show, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go dash for like 2 hours, right? And then sometimes I get bored and the dogs want to come with me, so I'm like, all right, the dogs want to sit in the car for an hour. I might as well just go make like $15 or whatever.
You want to talk about guilt tripping? What I've heard from you about your dogs, that's guilt tripping. Where
All right,
you'll be like,
listen.
you'll roll up with two dogs, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, puppies! Here's an extra tip." So,
That's happened to
If
me
it works, it
twice.
works.
yeah.
Dude, it did. It was this has happened twice. I don't remember what happened the first time, but the second time it was definitely somebody from out of town. So I had to pull up to the hotel. So I had the dogs in the front seat with me, and she was definitely not from Georgia. She was like, "Oh my God, they're so cute." I was like, "Yeah, they don't bite," and I let them pet them. And oh my God, they're so cute. I let her pet her. I gave her ice cream, and then like 2 minutes later, so and so give you an extra $5 tip. And it's on my TikTok. I said, "Look who got Dad an extra $5. You're such a good boy." So you do it.
Man, door dashing ice cream. I gotta say, going and getting the ice cream is part of the fun. I just don't door dash.
Dude.
So I live
Do
in
they?
I live in a downtown area, so maybe that's why I can walk places.
Do they? Does DoorDash have the McDonald's ice cream?
Dude, don't. Dude, I've had so many incidents where people will place the order and they're like, "We don't got the ice cream. You need to call them." And nobody wants to pick up their phone. And I'm like, "Oh my God, dude.
There's not really.
But
Why
I
DoorDash?"
imagine that it's
Like,
just
you
a
can't really swap it
nightmare.
out with another frozen dessert at McDonald's because they don't really have another. I guess if the ice cream's
Because I
down,
just
it's all down.
assume that's a nightmare for the DoorDasher.
Yeah, you can't
It
really be
is.
like, "Oh, you want an ice cream? Are chicken nuggets good instead?"
Yep.
No, because they want ice cream, bro. And then, like, we get yelled at. I remember, like I said the other night, when I was waiting for an hour for food, like, the people are blowing up my phone. I'm like, dude, like, I'll send you pictures. I'm sitting here in the restaurant. Like, I'm not, like, doing whatever. It's just like, gotta help me.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't good at door dashing. I wasn't gonna let these people like yell at me. I wasn't gonna sit there and take it. I was reporting people left and right. I was eating those cheese curds. Are you
Really?
kidding me?
No, there's one story. Somebody placed a McDonald's order, and I'd already picked up the food, but the order got canceled by the time I got halfway through town. So I'm sitting there with free McDonald's in my passenger seat, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna eat it. I did, and I ended up going to a local restaurant and giving it to somebody else. And then some college girl wanted something. She didn't order a drink, so like I was about to drink the Dr. Pepper, and I said, but I didn't break the seal yet. So I said, "Hey, you want a free Dr. Pepper?" I didn't break the seal, and she said, "Thanks." And she gave me like an extra $2. I was like, that kind of worked out.
There you go.
Door dashing.
Oh.
Pain in the ass.
Our next question is your coffee table AI generated?
What table?
Is your coffee table AI generated?
Now, unfortunately, even though most people would accuse me of it, no, it's not.
Okay.
No,
I saw the TikTok where you had the symbol on it.
That I have kind of figured out what does well online. I just don't know if I want to do it. And it's a combination of, and the thing is, I'm looking at my screen right now and I'm seeing that symbol in like 3 different places because Microsoft keeps pushing AI, so that it's got the on there. But it seems that if you just take another piece of content and you just comment about it in a negative way, people eat that up. The thing is, I can't bring myself to be that negative constantly online. I just can't do it. But I did just have the tweet with like 35,000 likes yesterday. That it was just making fun of people who saw somebody had advanced personalization settings on ChatGPT, and they basically went into the settings and said start speaking in. They said Ebonics. I don't know if that's the right word for it. AVE. I back in college they told me that was Ebonics was dated, but they said speaking Ebonics, pretend to be an intelligent, educated black woman. Give yourself a name, and then told them in the settings, here's all this information about. So they're just telling AI everything about them, and then having just heart-to-heart conversations. And it looks like they're talking to Aquafina. And they're not talking about anything. It's just having a heart-to-heart conversation with a robot is embarrassing. It's sad. It's definitely melting your brain. It's setting up the AI to perform better in the future, which is absolutely going to destroy society if it keeps learning. Personally, I don't think it ever gets to that point. I don't think it's ever going to be smart enough to be able to actually do the things a human does. I think there's some inherent flaws that no matter how much you train it, it'll always be throttled and untrustworthy. But that doesn't mean you should train it more. But just making fun of that, everyone apparently loves it. My first viral post I had was back in the day making fun of Jake Paul because he said, it's time to end school shootings. I was like, well, thank God Jake Paul is stepping in and ending this.
Yep.
That was
I always thought he wasn't doing enough to stop that.
Yeah, I think he was not doing enough. I want Jake Paul to be at the schools right now.
Yeah, he's spending too much time wrestling.
I'm just being like an armed guard in every school in America. You don't want to shoot
every single school in America.
That's the day Jake Paul shows up.
Jake Paul just goes on tour to every school in America, just sits there, protects the schools. Oh my God, that's a good one. God, they have a TV show on HBO Max. All of them do. They're like,
or school shooters.
Yes, all of them do. No, about the Logan Paul family. I don't know if you guys seen it. It just came out. It looks like the Kardashians.
Oh, is it like does it like cover the Suicide Forest thing?
I don't think so.
That one was really
I think it's literally.
That was like my introduction to the Paul brothers.
Yeah, me too.
I like knew of them, but I never seen any of their stuff. And then I just see him in this who are the fucking green guys from Toy Story? That hat.
Yeah, the little alien guys.
The Suicide Forest. Also, I'll be honest, didn't know what the Suicide Forest was, so I'm learning about that too at the same time. I'm like, why is this so bad that he's recording in the forest with this goofy hat on? And then you see what he recorded and what the forest is. Man, they might be a little evil. But I don't think they're stupid. I think they're very smart.
No, they're
off like official cameras, and it's like, oh, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they know how to like generate clout in the sense of whether it's hate or like support. They know how to like generate that to definitely get themselves in public eye.
Yeah.
And no media is bad media.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I know there's always been people like that, but it's more prevalent with the internet than it's ever been before because there's an algorithm that you get to manipulate instead of people. Like back in the day, you had to manipulate TV execs, and TV execs are stupid, of course. They're executives. They don't know about TV. They're business people. But they're at least people, and they can at least like pick up a vibe in a meeting and be like, "You're a little too evil." The algorithm can't do that. The algorithm can just be manipulated at a whim. So there's way more people doing it on top of the fact that there's more content than ever. And it's just, you have to make a decision if you're going to be a content creator, if that's how you want to go about it or not. Because that was something I had to think about when I decided to publish my book. I was like, I could follow these trends and really go for the algorithm, or I could try to actually get something more long-term and like make connections with people. And it absolutely throttles you in the short term to do that. That's the unfortunate part. I truly believe that like in the long term, making connections with people is the best way of using the internet. And like will work out way better than just trying to fudge the algorithm. That's a great way of getting 15 minutes of fame, but I don't think it's a long-term thing. But it is like unfortunate that it works so well so quickly to just push out content every single day that you don't care about and you're only doing because you know it'll be clickbaity and controversial and get a lot of views.
Clickbait. I don't know anything about clickbait around here. I would never do clickbait.
Listen,
Look,
it would be a lot worse if you understood how the internet worked.
the other day I did do something clickbaity. That's why I said that. I looked at Kyle and Kyle was like, Devin, you clickbaited people. I was in one of my classes, the kids were doing like Kahoot, but it's not Kahoot anymore, but it's basically like Kahoot. So they were doing like the whole like woo woo thing. And my cover for the TikTok was a girl saying, like, she's like, I'm not gonna say woo woo, and then she ends up doing it. But that was my cover, and people were clicking on it. I'm like, oh crap, I did clickbait somebody.
I'm not huge on YouTube, but it's just never been something that like I like watched that much on YouTube. But I've heard they like used something with the algorithm to try to get rid of clickbaity titles. I don't get how they did that though. I don't know if that like actually worked. Cool if it worked, but like in the end, you do it with content too on short form with TikTok. Like your lead-in phrase is you can just completely lie. Like I'll watch a video and I'll be like, oh, that first thing you said has nothing to do with this video, but it's just capturing people and relaying them in.
Yeah.
I still feel good about it.
Oh yeah, trust me, I don't know. I can't figure out TikTok to save my life. I can understand YouTube, Facebook, Instagram to an extent. TikTok, I'm like, I'm gonna just post something and see what sticks.
On the plus side, and like anything could work theoretically. Like it is interesting how they choose what to show, because I'll get stuff that shows 10 times more than another post, but it's getting less likes per view. Well, why not show the one that people are liking more often? Well, there's something to it that I don't think anyone knows, and that kind of leads into just like, yeah, post what you want. There's no like punishment for posting something that doesn't work.
Yeah, no, you're just like, oh man, it didn't work. But then I'm like, oh well, somebody liked it. Dude, what drove me crazy is the last time I performed in Atlanta, because like my TikTok following is a bunch of people I actually know, and it was just the pictures. Like the picture thing has been helping a lot on like TikTok mobile, and like 1,000 people like those pictures of us just eating, and then me backstage. I'm like, how? Like none of my jokes hit. That hits in real life, but these pictures hit. I'm like, all right, cool.
That is always how it's
I'm just like, okay.
I will always get more likes on trashing AI or just random joke posts because I love doing that. Not on TikTok as much because it takes too much time to do a TikTok, but I love just hopping on Twitter, pretending I'm a landlord who wants to do a land acknowledgement before I double rent. Those types of posts will always do better than a post actually promoting the hard work that you spent a lot of time on and you do in earnest. The people that do like it really like it. Just not quite as much. Unfortunately, on the internet, doing things in earnest never works.
That is true. But let me ask you this: what garage band are you the biggest? No, sorry, not garage band. Yeah, what garage band? What grudge band are you the biggest fan of?
I'm no genre. No, I like never know the difference between genres. But there was a local band I saw play at this small little venue called General 11. They were such a fun live show, and he pulled this really cool move. Now, vapes aren't that cool looking. Cigarettes look awesome. There's a flame at the end of your mouth. That's badass. Vapes look kind of lame. But he hit his vape and then used it as a slider on his guitar. And I lost my mind. That was awesome. And then he just looked into the mic and was like, I'd never done that before. And then turned around and used the edge of the amp as a slider. So cool. And I look around and that's the type of venue this place is. No one's paying attention at all. So I'm like the only guy that saw it. Me and my friend were the only people that saw it. They were cool though. But yeah, I would have to go with a local band like that around Detroit area. General 11. They don't have enough music though online. They only have a couple songs, but each one is a heater.
So
Kyle, it's your turn.
Yeah. So what? You're a big fan of Blink-182. What other bands are you also into?
Yeah, Blink-182 is like the first band that I ever really liked. I'm the youngest of three, so most of my music when I was like really young was just like whatever they had bought. I didn't have any money. You had to buy music back then. I didn't know how to pirate. I was 9. So I just took whatever music they already had on iTunes. And I was just like, all right, this is like fine. When I finally heard First Date by Blink-182. It was like a moment of realization. I was like, oh, I can like really care about music. That's an option. It's not just something to have on in the background. I was like obsessed with it from the jump. And then I got really into the pop punk stuff from there. A lot of the Wonder Years, Exte, Real Friends, The Story So Far. And I had some more indie stuff when I was in college, Vampire Weekend and Mallrat. And lately it's been more abstract stuff. Maybe my favorite band right now is Against Realism, which he's also a artist, a digital artist. But the music he makes is so impossible to duplicate or describe. Every song sounds unique. It resembles other music without being other music in a way that I think is really fascinating. It fits the title, Against Realism, and the visual art that he does is very similar. I think he's in Tokyo, but I don't think he's originally Japanese. I think he moved. Fantastic band. I think he's making some more music, which is really cool. On hiatus for a little bit there.
You're on a road trip. What song are you adding to the road trip playlist?
Classic is Flowers Where Your Face Would Be by the Wonder Years. It's not like a lot of music I listen to, which is more like punk, a little bit heavier. This one's a lot slower, but it is addicting. I'm never skipping that song when it comes up. It's one of the only romantic songs I have in my like songs. I realize that whenever I'm like making a playlist for a girl, I'm like looking for songs that aren't about breaking up. And I'm like, man, almost every song is sad. That's like one of the few ones where it's happy. And it definitely works for like just driving down a highway. And I think I am influenced by the fact that all the highways around me in the Midwest here are cornfields. So I have to go with the pop punk, the Midwest emo.
Okay. Yeah. Well, JB, that's all the questions we got for you. Where can the people find you at home before I hit our outro?
Yeah. Check out my novel Being Human Then Decaying. It's on deathlesspublishing.com. You can find me on all social media at JBXte. That's JBEXTE. Fuck Ice. RIP Little Boy.
Okay. And as always, guys, you can listen to me on my sports podcast, More Sports Podcast for everybody, as well as our movie review podcast, Popcorn Buckets, where we review a new movie every Sunday. And hey, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Random Incorporated, where you can watch the video version of this episode, as well as other awesome guests we've brought on our show. And hey, you can follow us on Instagram at Rendo Bucket Boys, and hey, we're on Twitter at Rendo Corporate Run, and hey, we're on Blue Sky now as the Random Hour. JB, you got any last words?
I do not. Thank you guys for having me on.